Hi there. Welcome on board another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson, piloting you through today's pages. Coming up, we're exploring several topics you don't want to miss. Stay with us. It all unfolds after this important message.
Have you seen any of these signs and are ready to buy land or property? Want to know who is the legal owner? Purchase a copy of the title using eLand Jamaica. With eLand Jamaica, you can do a title search and verify the owner of the property, ensuring they have the legal right to sell it. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at www.nla.gov.jm, via telephone at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us on WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal to serve you better.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Monday, June 1, 2026. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that there are no Ebola cases in Jamaica. However, 8 persons from several flights into Jamaica are under mandatory self-quarantine, having traveled to or through affected countries.
These persons have no symptoms. They are not suspected cases. This is a precautionary measure to ensure early detection of cases. The health departments will continue to daily monitoring of persons in quarantine.
The ministry is stressing that transmission is not likely and therefore there is no risk as it relates to the other passengers on these flights. Last week, the Health Ministry announced heightened surveillance of Jamaicans and travelers to Jamaica who have traveled to or transited through Ebola-affected countries in the last 21 days. This comes after the World Health Organization declared an outbreak of the Ebola disease in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda, a public health emergency of international concern. Jamaica's Health Ministry is urging members of the public, including social media users, bloggers and vloggers, to verify information before sharing it and to desist from circulating misinformation concerning the Ebola virus, which can cause unnecessary public anxiety. The public is encouraged to rely only on official and authorized sources for health information. Still on health, with a wave of the Saharan dust currently affecting the island, the ministry is reminding members of the public to reduce their exposure to the dust. Excess exposure to the dust particles can have severe health effects, including increased risk of respiratory and related illness, such as asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, COPD, and respiratory infection and allergies. Skin and eye irritation can also be experienced. In addition, the dust can affect water quality. Members of the public, and especially persons who are already experiencing or who are prone to respiratory illnesses, are urged to stay indoors as much as possible, wear face masks and long-sleeve clothing, and protect their eyes. Members of the public are also encouraged to wash their hands regularly and avoid touching their eyes, ensure water that is harvested is treated, and cover water used for domestic purposes, including drinking and food preparation. With June 1 marking the start of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica is warning against complacency amidst projection of a below-average hurricane season this year. Climate Service Manager Jacqueline Spence Hemmings made the call for caution during the National Disaster Risk Management Council meeting recently.
We don't say below normal to say get complacent. If Melissa has taught us anything, it is that we only need one.
Forecasters with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, have predicted a 35% chance of a near-normal season, a 10% chance of an above-normal season, and a 55% chance of a below-normal season. The agency projects a total of 8 to 14 named storms with winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Of those, 3 to 6 are expected to become hurricanes, with up to 3 being major hurricanes of Category 3, 4, or 5. The Climate Services Manager explains that one of the main factors contributing to this forecast is the development of the El Niño phenomenon during the season.
It's the sea surface temperatures in the Pacific. And what happens is that when that warming occurs in the Pacific, it changes the dynamics in the Atlantic and results in us getting subsidence or downward air in the Atlantic, which results in more drought, less rainfall, hotter conditions, and all of that.
The Norwood Community Center in St. James has received improvement works and the commissioning of a $4.5 million solar unit, which will provide electrical power to the facility. The project was completed by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Speaking with JIS News, Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, emphasizes that improvement to the space is vital for community development and residents' quality of life. The introduction of the solar unit has created new opportunities at the center.
It means they can have their community meetings in the evenings. They can introduce activities that require power without a problem. They can have a homework center because there's light available. They can introduce other activities.
Dr. Chang, who is also Member of Parliament for the area, says there is a plan to establish a music band in the community where youth can develop skills from which they can earn.
The solarization, of course, makes this much easier. And we intend to make this a very dynamic center, looking at establishing a very near future steel band music here and a regular band as well.
The National Council on Drug Abuse, NCDA, is warning children about the dangers of tobacco products packaged and marketed to entice their young minds. Speaking at Christiana High School last Thursday, Acting Executive Director of the NCDA, Paulette Spencer-Smith, warned students about the dangers of partaking in e-cigarettes, despite being told that they are safer for consumption.
Nicotine floods the brain's reward system, triggering the release of dopamine and producing a brief sensation of pleasure or calm. But it does something far more sinister than that beneath the surface. It rewires your brain's reward pathway. What starts off as a puff, one session, it rapidly becomes a craving, and cravings, unlike choices, do not wait for convenient moments. They come during exams, they come during sports, they come in the middle of conversations with someone you love, and they don't stop until they are fed.
Mrs. Spencer-Smith is also urging students to be wary of the varying marketing tools used to entice them.
They are developed and supported by social media influencers and concert sponsorships, the bright packaging and the language of it being cool and free. These are deliberate marketing decisions made by billion-dollar corporations whose survival depends on recruiting its new addicts before their old ones die. Do not be deceived by the word new. These products are new in form but not new in function. They deliver the same nicotine. They create the same dependency. And what we want to be able for you to do is to be aware that you are the target for a campaign.
The event was a World No Tobacco Day health fair held at Christiana High School under the theme, "Let us unmask the dangers of nicotine and be healthy and stronger tomorrow." And finally, the top 10 finalists in this year's Jamaica Festival Song Competition have officially signed contracts with the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC. The signing outlines the terms and conditions for their participation in the competition and marks the start of promotional activities leading up to the finals. This year marks the 60th anniversary of the competition, which continues to celebrate Jamaican music and culture. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, is encouraging the contestants to make the most of the opportunity.
You are part of that pool of talented Jamaicans who are now privileged to be a part of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, to be a part of the wider music industry, and to be afforded the opportunity to build yourself and build your talent.
The Jamaica Festival Song Competition, which started in 1966, continues to provide a platform for emerging Jamaican talent through music and performance. The finals are expected to take place in July. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Hurricanes can be dangerous, catastrophic events, but we can lessen the damage if we are prepared. Keep up to date with the latest information from reliable sources such as the Meteorological Service and ODPEM. The power will probably go with the internet following, so a good old battery-operated radio is a must-have. Stock up on non-perishable food items and emergency items such as flashlights and extra batteries. Secure important documents. Have a pre-packed emergency bag with safety gear such as raincoats and water boots. Ensure windows are protected and roofing is secured. Have updated information on emergency shelters near you in case you need to evacuate during the storm. Preparation will lessen the devastation when dealing with a hurricane. Be prepared.
We're here at the start of another hurricane season. There is probably some amount of anxiety many of you may be feeling, given what the island suffered in October last year. But rather than fear, we encourage you to greet this period with a mind of preparation. Last year, Hurricane Melissa showed us how easily nature can bring down communication systems, and just when you need them most. But there are options, and getting familiar with them is one of the things you can do to plan for this hurricane season. Let's learn about a well-established solution that may just be your communication lifeline in a storm.
The power is out. Cell towers are down. There's no internet, no signal, and traditional communication systems have failed. This has been the reality for many, during and in the aftermath of major storms and hurricanes.
1073, Mel Micro 475.
But somewhere in the silence, voices are still breaking through. Behind every storm warning and natural hazard is a powerful partnership between the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, and the Jamaica Amateur Radio Association, JARA, working together to keep critical communication alive when conventional systems fail. This hurricane season and beyond, while many may overlook it, amateur radio continues to serve as one of Jamaica's most dependable lifelines when traditional methods break down.
It's guaranteed to get the message across.
Amateur radio is a worldwide radio communication network.
Absolutely no third-party reliance.
In a world driven by smartphones and instant messaging, it's easy to forget how easily this technology can fail and how devastating the impact can be. Through the Jamaica Amateur Radio Association, this critical network continues to keep Jamaica connected when all other communication goes silent. During a hurricane or any other hazards in Jamaica, amateur radio proves it's not outdated, it's essential.
Amateur radio is direct, point to point. Right? Very relevant. It's your last, strongest, your best line of defense because it is the most reliable form of communication that you can have in an emergency. This station that you're seeing here operated right through Melissa. Right? I was in constant contact with guys in the States.
In the middle of chaos, information becomes the most powerful tool. Each message sent over amateur radio is carefully received, verified, and passed along to those who can respond.
So with Melissa, messages, I got several messages. I will put the messages together and retransmit the message to the main station, say in Miami. And that message, that station will also get message, probably similar messages, and put them together. And they know pass it on now to probably a government agency or appropriate agency that can use those messages to assist in coordinating what they are doing. All right, say in Jamaica, say in Johns Hall, there's a station there and flooding taking place in a particular area, and those persons needs emergency assistance. That message will come in. The message will be diverted to the appropriate agency. 6 Yankee 5 Echo Hotel.
What starts as a single voice over the airwaves doesn't stop there. Those messages become part of a wider emergency network, one that connects amateur radio operators directly to Jamaica's disaster response system, coordinated by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM.
This is 6 Yankee 5 Echo Hotel doing a radio check. Over.
Yes, Errol, reading it loud and clear. The ham radios here form part of our alternate and sometimes contingent means of communication. So having them here actively in use, even though we're not utilizing them for primary communication, they play a significant role should in case we have a failure in the primary means of communication. We're not a situation where we have no communication to our significant contacts in the field for the various field operations. Amateur radios are very active in our communication space. And here at the ODPEM, we maintain an active relationship with the operators of amateur radios. And so you find that they are always willing to assist and to relay critical information whenever there is a situation. And this occurs whether or not we have our primary means of communications. So you find that they will have network contacts in the various parishes with the EOC, and they'll relay informations to those contact points and or relay information here at the ODPEM National Emergency Operating Center. Because amateur radio is a worldwide radio communication network, so you may find that they can relay information from both international sources or local sources, and we are able, because of our relationship with them, we are able to get that information and make decisions based on those information.
From relaying distress calls to guiding national response, amateur radio operators are a vital link when disaster strikes. But this lifeline doesn't exist on its own. It's powered by trained volunteers across the island.
What I would want to say to Jamaicans is try to get familiar with amateur radio usage. There are several communities for training and for practice use of this system, because should a case arise where we don't have our regular means of communication, we don't want it to be a case where we have no communication. Try and go through the processes to get your license, to get training, so that we can always know how to utilize these radios. During the hurricanes that we have had in the past, we went through Beryl and Melissa, a lot of the support that we got from the amateur radio users, these were private citizens operating their radios at home, and they were able to, one, provide a significant point within the community for persons to give information, because they know that these users can get information out to the relevant persons.
So, you've seen how amateur radio keeps Jamaica connected when everything else fails. But what does it actually take to become a licensed amateur radio operator?
There's a stringent process that you have to go through. You have to be licensed. And the licensing process, it requires you to sit an exam where you are tested on physics, electronics, operating procedures, codes, how to pass messages, and regulation. We also, as a group, assist you with your studying. We help provide you with course material. We also, in conjunction, we work hand in hand with spectrum management to set the exam dates, and we field candidates and send them to the exam. And once you pass, your background check is clear and all of that, then you are granted a license.
Amateur radio licenses are granted by the Spectrum Management Authority. Apply on the agency's website to become a licensed operator. Consider becoming part of the network of people who ensure that, when the lights go out, and traditional communication fails. Jamaica's connection doesn't end. Across the island, trained operators are still listening, responding, and helping save lives. This hurricane season, when every message matters, amateur radio remains more than a backup. It's Jamaica's lifeline. Jamaica standing by. Over.
This is 6 Yankee 5 Echo Hotel Cemeteries.
Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Jamaica Magazine. June 1 is also observed as Global Day of Parents, recognizing the selfless commitment and lifelong sacrifices parents and caregivers make for children. As we emphasize this critical role, we must acknowledge parents do need support to take on this nurturing task. We'll learn more next.
No parent was born knowing everything. In fact, most parents utilize skills that were used while parenting them. And in many instances, some of those parenting skills or styles are very toxic.
For this reason, parental involvement was one of the main initiatives of the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, JETC, which was set up to carry out a comprehensive review of all levels of the public education system. From its work, the Ministry of Education and Youth, in collaboration with the National Parenting Support Commission, NPSC, launched a campaign to engage parents in their children's educational productivity.
Bobby, have you done your homework yet?
Mommy, just 2 more minutes. The cartoon's soon done.
Go do your homework now.
We understand that parents play a pivotal role in the lives of their children. And as such, the Ministry of Education and Youth, through the National Parenting Support Commission, will continue to train parents in our parent education program.
Parents who have taken part in the program at different institutions throughout Jamaica have so far gained a reasonable amount of knowledge.
I learned about emotional intelligence and communication, and those are 2 key things for me that I really want to be able to have a better understanding on, so that I can administer good parenting to my child.
My daughter is in grade 8. She's a teenager, 14-year-old. And I am telling you, this is like, when you're looking back at other children that you raised, it's the hardest stage. Believe me, and when you come to this, it's like you are not equipped. Coming to this session, I've learned a whole lot. You know, maybe dealing with her, I'm seeing that, well, how I was raised, and you're trying to do like the same thing, and it's not working.
I think many parents just, in the moment, do what needs to be done, versus being more intentional in what it is that they do or say in terms of raising and molding their children. So emotional intelligence is very important. And many parents themselves have scars, have wounds as it relates to their childhood and growing up. So that needs to be dealt with. Listening skills is very important. active listening, not just hearing the child, but being able to listen, analyze, and ascertain exactly what it is that the child is saying.
Bobby, have you done your homework yet?
Mommy, just 2 more minutes. The cartoon's soon done.
All right, Bobby. You have an additional 2 minutes of downtime, but right after the show ends, I'll help you with your homework.
No longer should we be saying children should be seen and not heard. And parents also need to understand that communication is ongoing. There's non-verbal, which oftentimes we can see with our children.
The NPSC is continuing a number of activities, such as parent mentorship training and the reactivation of parent places to boost parent engagement.
The Parent Place is an interesting program because it offers a mix of services to parents. There's psychosocial support, there is skills building, that's a partnership with Heart NSTA Trust, there is parenting education, and there is early literacy intervention. It's important that as a Ministry of Education, we're supporting the efforts to ensure our children are literate. And so parents get to learn the strategies through the Parent Places, strategies in literacy, so they know how to support their children at home.
The ultimate goal is for parents and schools to work together to help children achieve more so that their behavior and academics improve.
It is important for parents to be involved in their children's life because you have a role model, and it also takes a community to really and truly raise a child. So parents are very important, and the support, whether moral support or the social support, financial support.
So we're encouraging our parents to continue to be great partners in education. And how can they do this? Find out what programs exist in schools that have been implemented by the National Parenting Support Commission, and also join the PTA.
Children are the future, and ensuring our future is healthy requires that children are always provided with nutritious foods to grow well and live long. Unhealthy diets high in sugar, salt, and fat consumed by children may make them obese and prone to non-communicable diseases later in life. Healthy foods and beverages not only help them learn better, but also protects them from non-communicable diseases such as some cancers, diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases in their childhood and adult life. So, whether it's at home, in the lunch bag, or at school, let's make healthy foods and beverages for our children the only rule.
Tina, they don't want to come here none of them there. So what, you don't like bike man?
Yeah, but man I like careless man. Where your helmet then?
Bad man no real helmet, mama.
Stop the foolishness. We have one friend dead. 3 with pin on them leg when rain a fall. Them can't walk good.
Yeah, me understand what you're saying. So what, you can't go for your ride weekend?
Yeah, when you get helmet for me and you.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow on this very same station. For more information you can use to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. In the meantime, visit our website at jis.gov.jm to view this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.